Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. It should be a good one here, and you guys are just gonna have to bear with me. Maybe I adjust my mouse a little bit, as I actually did just change my mouse DPI, so my observing may be a little bit worse than usual, but should get used to it pretty quickly here. But anyway, it should be a great match. It's gonna be on blue shift, a Terran versus Zerg, and this is actually one I'm excited to watch, because I've cast these guys both a fair few times, but I don't think I've ever cast them versus each other. Spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, it is Root SuperNova, sort of known to be the mech Terran streamer, and his opponent, living and training in Korea, the Swedish Zerg, SortOf. So it should be a good one here. I'm excited to see how they butt heads, so to speak. Now, SortOf is a very solid player, and SuperNova, on the other hand, has his own unique style, and we'll see if SortOf's going to be able to deal with it. Now, not too much to talk about right off the bat. I mean, it's the standard Terran versus Zerg, but yeah, should be a good one. I mean, standard hatch first from SortOf, nothing else out of the ordinary. There goes that Overlord. Alrighty, and there's the pool, so everything normal. I imagine SuperNova going to have that CC on the way in just a second. And then as far as how these two guys are going to play, we can generally assume that SuperNova is going to play some sort of mech. That's just what he does. SortOf is a guy who does like to go into the later styles generally. A lot of Zergs are pretty happy with that these days. Oh, looks like we may have had a bit of lag there, but it seems to be good now. I just upgraded to Windows 10, adjusted mouse sensitivity. Oh, too many things are changing, guys. Now, Overlord's going to come on in, see that CC. Everything's normal. We'll see if SuperNova keeps his Reaper at home or if he sends it across the map. Looks like it is going to go across the map. That little bit of a riskier play, just because if it was something like a 16 pool, but he's starting another Marine, so he's fine in that regard. Now, factory behind this, Marine going to be out to shoo that Overlord away. And the Reaper going to get across the map. So yeah, very standard TvZ, but things are really going to change here in a minute, I think. I mean, that Marine working on that Overlord, I imagine there'll be a reactor. There it is. And then SuperNova, we'll see if he's going to go for some sort of mech push, as I imagine he's going to be the aggressor here, or because when you play mech, you usually go for some sort of aggression and then you go into turtling. But in this match, we'll see if that's the case. Good grenade bouncing that queen back. But yeah, looks like SortOf lost a single into that Reaper. Reaper confirms the third base, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Third base speed on the way, that metabolic boost. And look at that. Starport on the way, factory swapping over, and there's actually a tech lab that's going to be going on at barracks. Makes me think it could be Banshee here. I mean, for all we know, SuperNova could come out, shock us, and play a completely normal bio game, but that's just not something that he does too often, to my knowledge. Sort of getting up that creep tumor. A lot of Zergs going for that creep tumor, not right on the front, just a little bit to the side. It's safer, tougher for the Reaper to get to, and it also connects with the third base just fine. So Zerg's making that little change. You guys know it's a early Terran versus Zerg, just based on the fact that I'm talking about things like that little creep tumor positioning. Cloak is on the way for SuperNova. He did swap that over, but this Overlord 4 SortOf is going to come in, and he may actually spot this. Where'd that Marine end up for SuperNova? He should be doing his duty. Oh, he's tucked in that corner there. SuperNova does see this Overlord coming in, but I mean, he's not going to stop it. This one Marine not doing his job just quite, so he gets scouted. Now SortOf knows there's going to be Cloak on the way. Did he see the extra reactor or tech lab? No, he did not. So now SuperNova, is he going to be going bio behind this? 3 tech labs, or he'll swap over the factory perhaps, but that's a tough one. The 2 tech labs is sort of making me wonder, like, you'd think that this would be able to be bio when he's going for a third CC, but that's not usual SuperNova stuff. But there we go. Okay, is he gonna swap it? Okay, he's actually gonna be playing bio this game. This is interesting. SuperNova is a guy who plays pretty much exclusively mech in Terran versus Zerg, so maybe changing things up, trying to throw his opponent off guard. get some of that good practice in. Now, Hellions are actually running on into the base here. They're going to start frying a fair few Zerglings and sort of maybe underestimated this. And now drones are in trouble. SuperNova is getting right on top of this army. Going to start falling quite a few of these drones. I mean, sort of did a good job splitting them, but when there's drones in your mineral lines, there's only so much you can do. Queen's now in position, but sort of taking quite a bit of drone losses right now. The Hellions are still alive. Going to maybe pick off a few more lings, sort of. I mean, he's doing a good job, but these Hellions may actually get into the natural, get another shot or two off, and they are. That's massive damage for sort of this Swedish Zerg taking a beating for these Hellions. SuperNova, good job with his run by this. It's just that time in which Terran says, okay, I'm going for it. Sort of was teching into roaches, but the roaches not done quite in time, and now we've seen 12 drones go down. That's a pretty good trade for SuperNova. That Cloak Banshee also working its way. Now coming into the natural, going to finish off some of these drones. There is going to be an overseer, but SuperNova has already done some good damage right now. Queens are going to shut down this Banshee, so that's nice for sort of. But look at this, SuperNova, a guy who usually is playing mech, is preparing for a strong bio follow-up. Sort of, I mean, he sees the bunkers and whatnot, but look at this, SuperNova is going to be playing for like just standard like 5 racks, 3cc bio. He's going to have much quicker upgrades, and sort of he's just gone into this roaches. He's got tunneling claws, but this is looking pretty good for SuperNova, dare I say. Just based on the fact that he got a pretty early 3rd CC. He's got tanks now out on the way. He's playing bio, yeah. I guess it's blue shift, so it can be kind of tough to play mech versus Zerg. Just taking like a 5th base is quite a challenge. But yeah, Viking looking for some overlords. Sort of is getting up an infestation pit. So maybe planning on the later game. I mean, does he know that it's going to be bio? Like if you match... If you know who SuperNova is and you assume what style he's going to play, you generally assume that it's going to be mech, but SuperNova changing things up a little bit. The bunkers may have been a bit of a giveaway. It's like, oh, why are you making bunkers if you're not making Marines? So it's got to be making Marines, right? But no, sort of. He's still just sticking on these roaches, lings. He's really going in the middle of the road here to try and macro out of this because he did take a lot of damage earlier on. So he is going to be a bit stifled here, just going for 1 upgrade on his roaches, just making a few drones, making a few units here and there, just got to be safe. But SuperNova is going to be coming in with a double boost, and we saw the Viking take this exact path before in order to make sure that this wasn't scouted. I mean, the Overlord will be there, but there was no sort of detection for sort of anywhere else. SuperNova went around the watchtower, very well done. Now this Viking also still just scouting out. How many Overlords have died this game? Just 1. So it killed something that wasn't an Overlord. I imagine it was like a drone or a ling. But sort of good eye or good game sense does intercept this drop, and now he definitely knows that it's going to be bio. But his 4th base is coming under fire here from SuperNova. He's now going to be able to cancel that, kills the drone too, scans to clean up root for good measure. Now picking off these Doomers, so sort of. I mean, just from this opening, he's been in a bit of a rough spot. We're going to see if SuperNova is going to be able to sort of clear it out. More roaches on the way for sort of. Centrifugal hooks on the way. He's going to have his +1 done soon, but SuperNova has his 1-1 already. I mean, there's too many roaches here for him to trade, but he can't really engage the queens there either. SuperNova, did he start an armory is the question. He did, so he can start his 2-2. The sooner he starts that, the better for him. If he can afford it, that's a pretty important upgrade there. But his army is looking pretty scary when we look at what sort of has, which is basically just roaches. He can make some Ravagers if an attack's coming, but now he's going to be squeezing out his fire too. But if SuperNova hits a timing attack, which he certainly looks like he's ready to do, it could get rough. +2 attack started for SuperNova. No armor just yet, but sort of also just going into full-on melee, so going to be switching more into lings. And sort of did get a very quick hive, as he now has adrenal glands on the way. So this is sort of unique how these two guys are playing it. I mean, SuperNova playing bio is like a unique thing for him. And then, but I mean, he's still going to be hitting pretty strong right now. He scans sort of army, but look at this. This is a lot of stim bio. There's not too many Banelings for sort of. He will have Baneling speed done, but he's making a few more. I mean, SuperNova does have the tanks, so as long as he's not caught out here, but it sort of looks like he may be trying to catch this. SuperNova really does need to siege these tanks, maybe a second too late. sort of just trying to force out that siege to buy time. SuperNova, I'd like to see him maybe unsiege 1 or 2 tanks at a time instead of beelining in, because we do see Zergs these days really just collapsing on top of Terran attacks, but SuperNova is getting a nice position here, and he's also dropping at the 3rd base, which is very well done. Now distracting sort of, he's moving in, ooh, eats a few Baneling hits there. Actually loses a fair chunk of Marines, but we'll see how he's got reinforcements back and home. Yeah, he does have a few, so rallying those over would be good, but he's coming in for a drop once again. That one's not going to work out, but he's putting pressure on the 4th base. Viper's looking to come in, but they can't go over some Stim Marines. Sort of, though, is looking to break this right now. The Viper's not helping engage, though. The Roach is eating a lot of tank fire right now. SuperNova, he's also dropping while this is going on. The drops do get shut down by sort of, but I mean, it's still a pretty good trade for SuperNova right now. He's heading into his 2-2. Interestingly enough, for sort of, this is kind of crazy. He's going to have Adrenal Glands, but only on 1-1 Zerglings. And it looks like SuperNova does decide to back up right now. Vipers could maybe abduct a tank. Sort of is looking for that. He sees this. Yeah, I mean, these tanks are running. One of them will get abducted there. SuperNova sieging the other tanks. That could be a bit of a mistake. The rest of his bio is coming forward, though, to make sure that those tanks don't just get picked off. Sort of is going into a Greater Spire. But, I mean, SuperNova is going to have a pretty strong timing. He's going to have 2-2 versus this army. Even with Vipers and Adrenal Glands, I mean, I think 2-2 on all these tanks is still pretty good for SuperNova. SuperNova is also getting up a 4th base, sort of. He's really trying to buy time. I mean, he's got good tools, but whether he's just got enough is the question. As SuperNova is looking to push in, the Vipers for sort of, I mean, they want to get some abducts and blinding clouds if there's a good opportunity, but I mean, he's only got 2 Vipers, and those spells are very, very costly. He needs to use them to maximum efficiency. In SuperNova, he's just slowly pushing in right now with this bio force. Now, SuperNova run in if he can get a queen or 2. That would be nice. Always a pain for Zerg to have to rebuild queens. A counterattack attempted for sort of, but it gets shut down by SuperNova. And now, but look at this, sort of's doing a good job buying time. He's got 3 Corruptors out, and his Greater Spire is about to finish. I mean, it's sort of seconds away, like 10 seconds away. And now SuperNova, he really needs to make something happen. I mean, he's been cautious, which is good, but maybe a little bit too cautious, and now he's looking to hit on 2 angles. Now, this is always something that's risky for Terran, because if you get bopped on one front, the other front can be very tough. This is why we don't see Terrans sort of go for multi-pronged attacks, as Zerg's very quick on trade, very good at responding to this, and it looks like sort of could be ready just to engulf his army right now. SuperNova's heading back, and he's going to have to lift up into his mini-max. He will do that, but yeah, that's why we don't try multi-pronged for attacks versus Zerg. Harass is fine, but committing really more than Medivac or 2 isn't something that Terrans do that often. And sort of's doing a very good job with his defense. I mean, he's got 2 Broodlords out. He's looking to get out another few, and I mean, Marines can take on a few Broodlords, but when there's this many, they really can't. SuperNova's throwing up more Starports. He's heading into 3-3, so I mean, he's still got an upgrade advantage for now. But if he had, say, his entire army here, he'd be fine. But he's attempting a drop. He's got some reinforcements on the other side of the map still. Both players are close to max out, but if SuperNova's going to fight with this army, like, take head on, it's now or never. And he's actually going for it. Once he focused down Broodlords, good chance of using Blinding Cloud. Sending this army back, though, sort of. Now, good job defending. A few Banelings rolling forward. SuperNova forced to tight back into the tanks. Good shots eating a lot of those Banelings, though, but there may still just be too many Broodlords right now. Now, there's actually no Corruptors in this army, so the few Vikings can actually get the work on the Broodlord. SuperNova, he doesn't have many Marines, though, with this army, so the Broodlords, they are just going to shred these tanks. SuperNova, I mean, yeah, he's forced to retreat right now. He's going into more Starports so he can really head into this Viking production, and he's actually just making 4 at a time. No time to make reactors. So he really recognizes that he needs to deal with this. And usually Vikings versus Corruptors can go very poorly for the Terran player, but I mean, sort of, he doesn't have too many Corruptors. He's making a few more. But say when the Zerg gets like 15 Corruptors, that's when it becomes tough to challenge that with just Vikings, particularly when there's units on the map like Brute, like Vipers and whatnot. Now, SuperNova, he is teching into Ghosts. He's getting up a Fusion Core. Now, he was planning on trying to end the game here, but he's sort of forced to tech, so he really needs to throw up another CC or two. He's going into Ghosts and Vikings, which is certainly something that he needs. He's going to have 3-3 done, but he's actually going for a very strong push right now. We'll see if SortOf is able to react. The Broodlords are out of position. He's been defending that fourth base for so long, he wasn't ready for an attack at his third. SortOf's now forced into this army, and I mean, there's a few Vikings for SuperNova. The Corruptors aren't with us yet. Here comes in a few. SuperNova's going to have to kite all these units back, but he's still got a lot of bio, and this is 3-3 bio working away on the army of SortOf. He may just have enough. He's now focusing down the Corruptors, and neither of these air units are upgraded. SuperNova's doing a good job tanking back. Tank's getting shots off over his bio force is thinned out. The Banelings are gone, though. And, I mean, it looks like that the Vikings may actually went out versus the Corruptors, and SortOf has lost his base. He's getting up a 5th base, but his bank isn't too big. Now, does he have enough? Corrosive Biles and Fungal Growth actually going down on these Vikings, but there's still actually not too much anti-air. I think we need to see some infested Terrans to help out. Viper comes in. Parasitic bombs so many spells just to take out 1 or 2 Vikings, but SuperNova actually unloading on these Broodlords. That's a bit of a bold move. Now, SuperNova, he's equal on supply, but if we look at this, he's actually just got so many Medivacs that his army isn't that big. 12 Medivacs, which is absurd, but SortOf doesn't have that big of an army either. He's got these high-tech units, but he's really struggling for an army right now. I mean, he's got so many casters. He's got just Ravagers, Infestors, Vipers. Well, I think all the Vipers are actually dead, but still, SortOf, I mean, he's got this late game composition, but can he hold on? I mean, SuperNova hit that strong 3-3 timing. He's now getting up a 5th base, so it's looking very good for the Terran player. Now, if SortOf can stabilize, there's always a chance, but he's really trying to secure this 3rd base again, and I mean, I don't know if SuperNova is going to let him do that. A few Ghosts in this army as well. They can get EMPs off on the Infestors or Snipes. Look at all these Overlords for SortOf all clumped up. Now, I mean, SortOf, he's going to try and hold on, but he really has just been committing to these low upgrade Ravagers, and he's only on 1-2. He's getting more Carapace, so he's going to have very tanky Ravagers, but not much damage. Well, he is getting a +2, but he'll still be down an upgrade. And a Raven on the way for SuperNova. I guess that anti-armor missile is pretty good, but SuperNova sees that SortOf's prepared at the 3rd base, but now he's going to move on and hit the 4th. Snipes going down on a lot of these Ravagers, actually picking them off. The air army for SortOf is getting crushed. It looks like SuperNova may be able to take it. Vikings engaging. And he's actually going to be able to clean this up from the looks of it. I mean, SortOf good corrosive battles, but SuperNova's pushing in, and when I say clean up, I think SuperNova may be able to steal this. I mean, he's got a very strong army. Snipers is going down. I mean, he's not taking the best fight, but he's still got so much, and the 5th base is under fire for SortOf, and that was his main source of income right now. He's going to lose the base. Medivac healing for days. There's so many for SuperNova, and I think he may have been able to do it right now. He's just absorbing these links. The Raptors are spinning out, but they don't do that much damage, and now their buffer's gone. The growth balls that have been needed haven't quite landed. I mean, SuperNova may be forced back, but SortOf lost the base. His army is down. I mean, for SuperNova, though, I mean, he's got decent supply, but most of it actually is just Medivacs and Vikings at this point. Now, Vikings lurking around. There's no more Broodlords for them to kill, so... And, I mean, the fact that SuperNova has won this air army, he is now going into Liberators. He's getting up this bio count. And yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. I mean, SortOf planning a Ling counterattack, but and this base, I was about to say, it's actually going to be a planetary. No, SuperNova actually made his 5th base an orbital command, which is pretty ballsy versus Zerg. So SortOf forcing the mining off this, really turning the focus on his opponent, and he gets out with the Lings, which is important when you're down this far on supply. A few Ghosts are exposed. SuperNova could maybe get them. No, he's actually just going to head right back to the base. But looks like there is a Liberator that his Lings will get caught here. He's going to try and get a Ghost, but that's not going to happen. Another Ling run by, going to be heading towards the 4th base, which is actually a planetary. Now SuperNova, though, look at these Liberators. He's now surrounding this base. It's going to be very tough for SortOf to break this. He's got a Viper or 2. Well, he's actually got 2, so he can duck some of these Liberators, but I'm not sure he's got the ground army. I mean, there's really no splash damage for SuperNova in the base. Maybe able to get in, but there's actually a lot of Marauders I'm not sure it's going to be enough for sort of... Some infestors are still alive, those invasions, but not all the liberators go down. They actually just sort of set up wherever they like. Pesticern will be able to clean this up, though, but sort of loses another base. He's trying to hold on so desperately, and he's doing a good job with what he has. But now Vikings working with all the overlords sort of on path for a massive supply block, possibly. And yeah, SuperNova wants to get all these overlords, and that's not going to be good for sort of. Vikings now engaging these overlords. Sort of's going to be supply blocked down to 80 supply. He's making through overlords, but it's looking pretty dire for sort of right now. I mean, he's done a good job pushing back SuperNova's army over and over again, but GG gets called. SuperNova is going to take it. Very well played by the Korean Terran. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the cast, please leave a like. I mean, it's always good to see someone playing a different style. SuperNova, I honestly expected mech when I saw this match, but Bio was a pleasant surprise. And sort of, I mean, he almost had it, but taking that damage, I mean, from the start of the game, sort of just, I mean, he was down, guys, but he managed to try and drag it out. He would, I mean, if he had an extra second or two here and there, or the game certainly could have gone his way. So very well played for him for playing it out. But as I said, if you guys enjoy the video, leave a like and also leave a subscribe. I'm always putting out content like this, and I'm trying to break that 1,000 subscriber mark. So leave a subscribe, and I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.